Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So last week we got no Canary channel build, and this week Microsoft now is making up for last week, where they are now releasing the latest Windows 11 Insider Preview build 25905 to the insiders in the Canary channel. So once again, a quick overview as to what is hot off the presses, as some of these features could possibly roll out in up and coming stable versions, and build 25905 rolled out on the 12th of July. Now, what's new in build 25905? First of all, just to do a couple of quick mentions. Microsoft does say from the release notes that this build does include new features that were previously introduced in the dev channel with build 23493. And I did post a whole video on that dev channel build, and I'll leave that down below if you'd like to go check that out. But the new features now from the dev channel in build 25905 are the new dev drive, the backup and restore improvements, dynamic lighting, Windows App SDK, version of the File Explorer and Gallery, and more. So go check that other video out if you'd like to catch up as to what rolled out in build 23493. Now, another quick mention is there is now Rust in the Windows kernel. Now, the long and the short of all that means it's an early implementation of critical kernel features in safe Rust. And this is a small trial because obviously it's still early days in the Canary channel. But Microsoft will plan to continue to increase the usage of Rust in the kernel in the future. So that's now been tested in the Canary channel. And then just another quick mention before we have a look at some of the actual features. There is now ARM32 UWP app deprecation. Now, the long and the short of all that is that support for ARM32 UWP applications, according to Microsoft, has also been removed from Windows on ARM. This means that any installed ARM32 applications will now no longer launch on your device. So just take note of that if you are in the Canary channel. And then the first new feature is quite a mouthful, but we're going to head to a couple of screenshots just to go through the new features we can actually look at to get a general idea. It's called New Post-Authentication Action Support for Terminating Individual Process in Windows LAPS. Now, LAPS stands for Local Admin Password Solution. And it's more applied and applying to your admins, but nonetheless, because it is a so-called new feature in the Canary channel, just to let you know. Now, the new post-authentication action support for terminating individual processes in Windows LAPS. This means that this build includes a new option for the post-authentication actions group policy, as we can see from the screenshot provided, that allows you to terminate specific individual processes that were launched in an OTS, which is short for over-the-shoulder elevation scenario. And that's quite a mouthful. And also something else to take note of, the new option is described as reset the password. I don't know if you can see that in the video. There we go. Reset the password, log off the managed account, and terminate any remaining processes. So that's now been added in that group policy. Now moving on to the next, Emoji. And we've got some changes and improvements when it comes to Emoji. Microsoft says that Windows is now able to display richer emoji with a 3D-like appearance, with support coming to some apps and browsers. These emoji use gradients to bring the design style that basically users have been asking for. And yeah, obviously the before is on the left and the after is on the right. The new emoji will bring more expression to your communications. So that's changes and improvements now for Emoji, where they now display richer emoji with a 3D-like appearance. And then moving on to the next. And before we get to the Microsoft Store, actually, which is quite a big update because I did feature that in a previous video. But just to do another quick mention, first of all, Zune. Microsoft says that in celebration of Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, they have now temporarily relaunched Zune.net, and that rolled out last month. They say they also took the opportunity to fix an issue that was causing some challenges in getting the original Zune drivers to install in Windows 11 with this build in the Canary channel. So now it should be easier to use your, and as they say in brackets, your totally unsupported and still discontinued Zune on Windows 11. So that's a bit of a driver kind of improvement to the Zune. And over time, the fix will make its way through the insider channels and eventually to all Windows 11 customers. So Microsoft's had a bit of a change of heart when it comes to Zune. Now, getting back to the Microsoft Store, as mentioned, I did feature this in a video I did post the other day. But just to do a quick recap, Windows Insiders in all channels running version 22306.1401 of the Microsoft Store and higher will see the following improvements rolling out. And the big one here is, as we can see, they are now introducing the new AI Hub, where Microsoft says from the release notes, and I'm quoting, explore a new curated section in the Microsoft Store where we will promote the best AI experiences built by the developer community and Microsoft. This is a space where we will educate customers on how to start and expand their AI journey, basically inspiring you to use AI in everyday ways to boost productivity and creativity and so on, according to Microsoft. So that's the AI Hub that's now making its way into the Insider program. And I'll actually leave that previous video I did post the other day because it will give you a little bit more information. And something else to take note of regarding the Microsoft Store update, there is now more pricing information. So over and above the AI Hub, to help with your purchase decisions, Microsoft says you'll now see information about the lowest price products that have dropped to in the past 30 days. So that's quite a significant Microsoft Store update that is rolling out in this week's Canary channel build. And if we just head over to the release notes, something else just to take note of before we end this video. It's a small but significant change. Microsoft says you will notice that the name of the branch shown in the desktop watermark has changed back to the RS pre-release. As a result of this change, insiders will notice that some features that were previously removed temporarily with the switch over to ZN release have now returned, in addition to some new features mentioned below. And obviously we've had a look at those new features today in this video, and that's the watermark that gets displayed in those insider builds here in the bottom right hand corner of your desktop. So that's more or less what's new in this week's latest Canary channel build, the hot off the presses features in build 25905. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.